Good morning, Dustin Pfeiffer here, and my brain is scrambled today. I'm sorry, I'm sleep deprived. I'm bringing you my game called Stars, which is kind of a Flappy Bird clone, but I'm not really a fan of just copying a game outright. I at least like reskinning it, so I decided to make like this kind of nice little star adventure, if you will. And so here's my main title. It's kind of lacking a centerpiece. I will worry about that later if I get the time, but I spent 6 hours today just trying to get animations to work, only to come to the conclusion that they would not for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but if I press space to play, you are greeted with the instructions page. You're a rather adventurous and physics-breaking star finding your way through the universe. You have encountered a rather difficult part of your trek. Use space to float upwards and avoid the solar flares. So yeah, it's just Flappy Bird, and as you see, you're like a nice little star trying to avoid solar flares right now. You turn blue when you're going upwards, and orange when you're going downwards. The level is the same every game. It's a seeded random. I wouldn't even call it seeded random. It's a seeded pseudo-random. I could make it infinitely random, but for debugging purposes, I just made an array list of 100 pipes that it could go through, and then it would loop through that. Because I'm bad at Flappy Bird anyways, I won't get to 100, I won't notice, and that just seemed like a good way to get started. But it's the same every time you play it. The way I did the pipes was I have, I believe, 5 possible positions that the pipes can be at. They can either be at the very top of the map, the very bottom of the map, in the center, or in between each of those. There's like a middle top and a middle bottom. Oh, and I lost, so I got a score of 34. That's actually my third best of the entire time. We go back and to the main menu by hitting spacebar, and we hit space once more. This time it doesn't show us the instructions because it knows that you have already read them. Fancy, I know. That collision seemed a little weird. I tried doing my own collision because just using the sprite's local or global bounds didn't seem to be doing exactly what I wanted, and sometimes the collision seems on point, other times like that, it doesn't seem so fantastic at all. So this is great. I have this nice scrolling universe in the background. I made that in Photoshop. I think it's quite pretty. There are planets. Everything's handmade in this except the font. You can tell by my horrible pixel art. I do not really consider myself an artist, though I would really like to learn. And I don't really have much more to say about this game. I'm trying to remember if there were any more talking points I needed in my video, but I do not believe so. So we'll watch this now gas giant float by in the background as we continue our trek through the very expansive universe. You know, we're obviously traveling like upwards of the speed of light, of course. But I think that's going to about do it. Thank you for watching my video on Stars, my Flappy Bird quote-unquote clone. Yeah, goodbye.